Somebody call 911. Shawty fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa. What's a quad?
Hi, my name is Eric Noedete with the Pasco Fire Department, and today we're going to talk about identification cuts and smoke indicator holes on commercial buildings. So our identification cuts are a cut that we use for flat commercial roofs to determine what type of material is being used, the roof composition, how thick it is, and if there's multiple roofs on the building there. It's a large triangular cut rolling over one rafter. The reason we roll it over a rafter is so that we don't lose that piece of material that we cut out into the building, and so that we replace it on the hole, offsetting it so that we don't have a area that we could fall through. We're going to see it here in slow motion and explain it a little bit more in detail. Like I said, it's a large triangular cut going over one rafter. We're going to start at 45-degree angle. The reason we're starting at a 45-degree angle, as I pause the video here, is so that we increase our likelihood of going over a truss or locating a truss right away, and so then we can change position and finish this cut. If we just go perpendicular or straight off a wall, we could be between the spans of the trusses or rafters and cut forever without determining which way they're going. Turn 90 degrees and finish your cut, crossing your cuts there, rolling the rafter again. Pay attention to your feet placement there, making sure they're not too far forward. Taking a step, cutting right across your body midline. Here, pause the video again. The officer will be the one getting down on his knees, looking at which way the rafters are going, and with the roof material to see what they're dealing with when they're going to be making their commercial cut. And it'll be the firefighter standing with the chainsaw. Also, when the firefighter is down, heads down, making this cut, the fire officer is always heads up, watching the progress of the firefighter and also paying attention to the seat of the fire, looking at the conditions of the fire, if they're worsening or whatnot and they need to get off the roof. Making sure your hand is up high when you're showing which way the rafters are going or the trusses are going. And now we're going to get into our smoke indicator holes. So our smoke indicator holes is right after we make our inspection cut. So your inspection cut's the first thing you do when you're on the roof, and then you leave that piece of wood there, and then you start moving down the roof towards the seat of the fire, making your smoke indicator holes. These are small, quick holes, and they're at least 10 to 12 feet apart, also 4 to 8 feet away from the wall. If your building's a lot larger, then you want to make your smoke indicator holes further apart, 20, 25 feet, all depends on the building. If you're working down the roof and making these smoke indicator holes and you happen to cut a hole and you don't see any smoke, or you have light smoke compared to the last smoke indicator hole that you cut, that might let you know that you just crossed a wall or you're moving totally away from the fire. So pay attention to your smoke and read your smoke. If you are making progress towards the fire and you've seen the smoke getting thicker and more turbulent, and you know that you're getting closer to the seat of the fire, once you have the turbulent smoke and you know you're close enough, you're going to make a 90-degree cut so that you can see if there's a draft curtain in between before you make your large commercial cut. So as you see, Firefighter Soldier here making his quick cut, and then we'll break down the smoke indicator hole in small detail here when we see it in slow motion. So as Firefighter Soldier makes the cut here, he goes across his body, then he goes 45 degrees away, pivots, and then goes across his body again. He's making this hole big enough so that the D handle could fit through the hole, and you could puncture the roof or anything, or excuse me, the ceiling or anything that's below you If you do poke your trash hook through this and you don't come across anything, then there's no need to repeat the process on your second, third, fourth smoke indicator hole. These are really quick cuts, crossing your cuts. Once the fire officer determines that they're close enough to the fire, then he's going to ask to make a 90-degree turn and make the last cut. As you're walking across the roof, it will be the fire officer checking for integrity as they move across the roof, just like we normally do, and then pointing to the firefighters where they want the hole to be cut. And he's going to be reading the smoke along with the crews if they would like to, and realize when or determine when they are close enough to the seat of the fire to make their big cut. Remembering that the commercial cuts do take time, and you do need a decent amount of distance between your commercial cut and the seat of the fire to be safe. So that is your identification cut and smoke indicator holes on commercial buildings, and we'll see you guys again talking over our commercial cuts. Thanks.
Hey! Red one! Hey! Hey! Shawty got that super thing.